going live, he says. We're live. Whoa. Okay. Camera mute, share screen, edit. Got it. Such an interesting experiment to be like, who is going to go live in my YouTube with only such a tiny amount of followers? We'll see. Oh, and that's the other thing. On YouTube, this ends up being watchable later. Okay, so I just have to change my mindset a little bit then about what I'm saying on here, knowing that it has a little bit more perpetuity. Perpetuity. In perpetuity. All right. I think let's just see what we find to be the purpose of this session. This is an unfamiliar time for me to be going live, but I think oh, hi from country Victoria. Eagles Squidingo, Eagles Quidingo, Eagles Ke Dingo. Can you give me maybe you don't want to, and that's fine, but can you just give me a kind of cardinal reference from Melbourne, where in regional Victoria you might be, just because I love Victoria. I had this thought the other day that was like, can I show you the photo actually? It was just from the weekend. And I was just like, this photo looks so Victorian. The Wimmera, wow. It was just, all it is here, I'll just show you. All it is just a nice lake, Caulfield Racecourse, that's where it was. Like a nice lake and just a beautiful kind of cool blue skiesy kind of a day. Oh yeah, there was just markets on. But I was like, it's such a Victorian day. And then as someone who's only recently lived in Victoria, I mean, I'm not going to count Albury Wodonga days because I was technically living in New South Wales, but working in Victoria anyway. I just am like, I think Victoria might be my kind of like my spiritual home state. I feel much more Victorian aligned than I do, but particularly regional Victoria. Anyway, thanks for watching. I was already long into tangent. What I'm going to do is just see if I can also go live on this mother trucker, which is TikTok as well, just to see what happens there. As I do that, though, I'm noticing, maybe I should use the studio. I'm so sorry for talking this through. Once I'm set up, then we'll be off and rolling. Will we? No, we won't. It'll still be as bumbling as ever. But let me just... happy public holiday then if you're in regional Victoria. I'm not sure if that has any great bearing on your life. It certainly doesn't for me. Every day feels like a public holiday in the best way possible. But it's still nice to feel a general community societal relaxation in the air as there's less hectic enslavement to corporate office life beginning. There was less Sunday scaries in the air last night. I felt like just nationally, with the knowledge that there is a public holiday. Although, who doesn't get a public holiday? Queensland? New South Wales? Don't know. Someone doesn't, because I remember someone witnessing a conversation on the plane that was like, we have a different King's birthday holiday. Just closing down some windows. Let's just see. All right. Hey, I don't know if any of the 4, is that mean, does the 4 next to the people mean how many watching? I'm just so not familiar with TikTok live writers room. Let's just write that in there. I'm just not familiar with YouTube streaming. I'm sure that must mean there's 4 people watching, or we just have it open. Okay, let's go live on TikTok. Cool. But I'm trying to work out like Twitch and how that works and how people integrate it across platforms or not, and what that kind of means, because I at the moment I'm a little bit confused. by it. And as someone who hasn't, like, you know, as a consumer, I've consumed a lot more TikTok than I have created, and so I'm very familiar with the app. But YouTube, I'm sorry, Twitch, I'm just not at all familiar with it. Hi, Jeanette Hi, Jeanette Klabassi 2129. Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just sort of getting set up and trying to work out my TikTok along with my YouTubes. I don't know if I'm allowed, it's meant to say those words, but I'm so sick of all the kind of like having to use codes for everything. Do you know, it's a really, oh, we're muted. We're muted on TikTok, maybe for good reason too. Hold on. Audio mixer. We could, Scheiße. We could use this, couldn't we? But let's just see. I don't know. Yeah, okay, let's. Sorry, one moment. Please, one moment. I'm so sorry about that, but thank you so much for letting me know. I love that there was just a period of maybe a couple of minutes of me just chatting away with no sound. So thanks so much for being here, Elle. Thanks, Clark, for the audio confirmation. Wow! Maybe this is the reason I don't normally come on of a morning. The morning light through in front of the window is really offering a lot in terms of clarity and realistic kind of skin analysis. Anyway, we're here. There's a question coming. I love this. I've got two channels going, just so you know, TikTok, I'm sorry to be cheating on you, but we've got YouTube open below. Hey, it's not sexy to talk about like just kind of strategic growth and wanting to make money, but YouTube has actively encouraged me to say, like, you need to be streaming if you want to grow followers on there. And the reason I want to grow followers on YouTube is because I'm like, that's the only platform to monetize. Okay, in Melbourne, to answer that question, thanks so much. It's so boring, Janet. Janet, why do you say that? Jeanette? Sorry, Jeanette. Why do you say so boring in Melbourne? But regional Victoria, you're saying, sorry, I'm getting two people confused. Why are you saying that Melbourne's so boring? I'm finding like there's so much to explore, having only been here for a few months, but even just a little adventure of like going to a new library in a new place, which is so, it's like the journey to get there feels like there's new things, you know, just anyway, but I get it. Like sometimes it's just where you're at and what you're into, and some places just don't offer it up. Emmy asks, "Hi family, what do we manic over today?" Well, I think the answer is always a little bit of everything. Where we will start with a focus and we will move in every possible direction, like everything everywhere all at once. But in this instance, we don't play out the multiplicity of multiverse realities in kind of neat, well costumed and well performed timelines. We just try and perform them all as they come into my mind at the same time. Okay, great. Hey, I just want to draw your attention to my newest, sorry. Whoa, can I just say how trippy this is? YouTube flips it, right? No, TikTok flips it. So I'm moving in one direction on one screen and then the other one doesn't. I've just added this poster up from the last video to my background of wall decorations, which I like that is a little growing collection of, you know, ephemera that relates to the kind of little wall of memories behind it. Anyway. Oh, do you think so, Sonia? I know, I appreciate the critical discussion. I mean, I think in terms of like whether the appropriateness of the last TikTok, I would love to hear what you mean more about like not the kindest, because I find it really interesting in in the kind of like, comedy parody. This comes up a lot, and I think I think it's also relevant of like a growing audience that um that like the size, like the wider the net of reach, okay, of each video, it's going to come up this discussion about like what is the appropriateness of White Maria, thank you, Bobby, playing these characters, particularly women and particularly people from I guess non-white backgrounds, and like what are the parameters and limitations. So I think it is a really important discussion. I guess what my intention is besides the point. You can offend someone with good intentions all you like, and so I think that's first of all really important to acknowledge. And then second of all, I guess I'll just say my intention anyway, but I think that I hope, at least with Maria, probably a little bit less so with Emily, there is a kind of respectful portrayal that comes from the detail. I would say that I think there's a little bit more room and possibility to be offended when there's kind of like a man with a tea towel on his head, usually like a young guy. There's like a lot of Australian kind of like skit kind of accounts. I do characters, I do skits. And there's like someone playing mum with like a tea towel on their head and kind of being like an apish caricature of femininity, where often I guess I like have seen this a lot in lots of like acting and drama workshops that I've taught to the impulse for young men in Australia anyway, because we have such a rife problem with misogyny and a society where men have such limited palette of expression, that women get performed like this. I'm the sister or the mum. And it's this kind of weird pantomime version, which you can often just ask, like, do you know anyone that speaks like that? Your mum is a woman. Does she speak like that? Does she walk around being like, clean your room? And there might be some version of truth to that, that is like, I get annoyed when I'm asked to clean my room. But what's happening is like a mistranslation, right? And the performer, in this case, a teenage boy or whatever, is getting annoyed. And so therefore there's a kind of artist license. And you might notice that because I find uh, Emily's one's a bit more insufferable and a little bit more tone deaf, and so therefore I crank up my own attitude and snark. Whereas Maria's, I just think she's like a masterclass in etiquette, decorum, and like customer service skills. Not that they're kind of the pinnacle of what I love in life. This isn't like a deportment and etiquette channel, but you can. I would like to think there's a little subtlety in that. And so I think it is always worth putting a spotlight of critical analysis to a white male with a microphone. Ah! Here's one I prepared earlier. But I hope that even with kind of me doing my best Pinoy accent, I really did even look up a little bit of Tagalog to see if I could include it. I wasn't confident enough and wussed out. But I hope that there's a kind of, I don't know, it feels right for the form in the sense of like, those two customers, I think, are delightful people. It's all a bit chaotic and a little bit silly. And I find that the shrine of worship of luxury bag sales, whether it's through Love Luxury or an honest, genuine appreciation for Hermes or any of those dog S brands that seem to kind of completely, exploit people through the endless pursuit of prestige and exclusivity. I think anyone on that channel, regardless of whether they're buying or selling, is worthy of a little scrutiny, regardless of their cultural background. I think it's okay. I think all people of color, as well as white people, need to have just a little bit of openness to being criticized when they are operating within a wealthy enough circle that they're spending £25,000 on a handbag. I don't think because someone is of color limits them from any critical analysis around the idea that they are spending, just to repeat it one more time, £25,000 on a handbag. Oh, but Kyle, they work so hard for it. But they work so hard for that money. You have no idea. If you worked hard and were a good boy and got a nice, good job, maybe you could afford a handbag too, and you wouldn't spend all your time being a miserable, long suffering artist trying to bring other people down. Well, I know, and I thank you for that point. I still just don't think it's a valid use of money in the world in 2026 on a world on fire. But also, please keep that coming. I don't take that monologue to kind of like take any wind out of the argument against me. I just think that it's I just am telling you my side of things, I suppose. Alex T. Ford, I'm going to London on Tuesday and I'll be visiting Love Luxury, looking from outside. I can't wait. Now, Alex, I don't know, can we have a live? You're going on Tuesday, as in tomorrow or next week? Oh, well, it might be not your tomorrow. Sorry. Okay. So the Tuesday, the 9th of June. Can we have a live after that to report back? I would love to hear what. Can you go live and I join for questions? Because I would love that. Um, a pre-owned bag, yes. Well, I think this one was brand new. The Sesame Birkin 30 Epsom Cellier on Palladium hardware. I think this one was new. I think that was the guy's joke, though, that he kept saying in this kind of what is weird. Okay, wait, can we just talk about the last video, please, if we don't mind? What is weird about that one is we're now tapping into the fan era of Love Luxury, of which I'm a part of, right? Okay, I just want to be really clear, like I'm a part of that. Hi, Teresa McGee for the refund. And we are such consumers. We should be creators. That's a great point too. Eagle Dingo 2112. I we when we sort of lift the fourth wall, of which we do not lift the fourth wall, so raise the curtain, embrace the fourth wall, break the fourth wall. Sorry, there we go. And we do that every time when someone acknowledges, I'm such a fan of your videos while they're appearing in a video, right? It's the same on the Kardashians or Real Housewives when Denise Richards goes rogue and says, bravo, bravo, bravo. We're breaking the fourth wall, which is, oh, we're just a fly on the wall, invisibly watching these women live their very real and very important rich lives. Well, we're not. There's a camera crew in the restaurant filming them the whole time, okay? And then the same for Love Luxury, where it's so interesting that we're increasing this thing to the point that someone has brought in a sign. They would not have brought in the sign to the store unless it was being televised to the world via the Love Luxury channels. So we have another degree that is like, I watch your videos, but now also I'm aware I'll appear in a video. So I'm going to make the most of appearing in this video. And it starts to create this chaotic little cycle. I mean, thank the Lord that they have enough money to buy it back. Oh, gosh. But it is an interesting thing, right? Where the queue is building the kind of for people who want to both, as you pointed out there, Alex T. Ford, the idea of like, I want to see the store as a tourist attraction, and I'm exactly the same. I just want to say, like, let me think of some of the examples where I've done this. I went to, oh my gosh, there is definitely something where I've deeply watched this in a reality TV. I mean, in New York, I've done all the kind of like TV show tours, Sex in the City, kind of see Carrie Stoop, etc. But there's something fascinating, isn't it? This idea of I mean, even it's very specific in Australia, but even when I did the collab with Fadan and went to her office to film, I was really in a headspin of like, I'm on set. It's her office where she does really important work, much more important than filming TikToks. But I was like, I'm in Fadan's office that I've spent a lot of time watching on a screen. This is really wild. So anyway, like seeing Abbey Road. This is my generation's Abbey Road, okay? Is seeing Love Luxury Store Kensington up close. Okay, yes, all right. So Alex, can I just ask you, you're going to buy a bag while you're there? Are you interested in the patchwork bag? And yes, that did have a lot of animals in it, on it. Yes, I have seen that one. People have asked me to do that one too. I thought we should just have a little look. But Daddy AJ, can I just ask you this? You say I love how Emily gets so triggered by you. I don't know if she is triggered by me. I don't know if she cares about me. Do we have any evidence that she's triggered by me? She went off that one time and left a comment being like, that they're not funny. And they were funny originally, but they're not funny anymore. So I just think he needs to stop. It's gotten old. It's not actually funny. And but that's been for ages. Since then, after that, she blocked me. And then so I don't even think she thinks of me, does she? Okay. All right. It's like seeing your friend's room. I was seeing on FaceTime for ages. Isn't that such a modern problem? Like, what a sentence to say in 2026 that even 10 years ago, which was what, 2016? I guess we were FaceTiming in 2016, weren't we? I was just like thinking, I know that we had FaceTime, but you know how like internet and data plans and stuff really shaped how much our kind of relationship to how much we FaceTime now. I was even just thinking like how there was a time in my life where data and sending picture messages was a real concern. Like you would know this. Anyone my age or older, you would know this thing, right? Of like there's a time in your life where you had a mobile phone that had internet browsing capacity, but you would never go on the internet. Are you crazy? Do you know how much that costs? Do you know how expensive it is to browse something, even something on the internet? And I'm just thinking, like, wow, even in my lifetime, it's like I just don't even think about data anymore. I've got like a roller. I only pay $20 a month or something. It's so good. It's an intro offer, but um, I never once think about data anymore, and it's really, really helpful. 10 cents per text. Remember those days? Quickly shorten everything into hi, how are you? R letter U. Meet at two question mark. Let me know. LMK. You know, and like because I am not going over that 20 cents or 25-cent text. Are you crazy? When I can ask all the questions in the first one. I mean, in many ways, the absolute degradation of communication was infinite text because people leaking through information in like a what place, what time, but answer response kind of way. It does my head in anyway. But by about four questions in, I'm like, don't worry about it. Give it up. Give it up. How do you choose the items used as stand-in bags in your videos? Color first, size, shape, empty. I'm going to answer this question like we are post, a really important piece of art and theater, and I'm answering this at the post performance Q&A for the school audience that are gathered here. Thank you really much. Thank you very much. Year 5 from Saint Hermes College. It's a really great question. I often choose the replacement bags through a series of processes. One of the ways that I'll often do it, I don't even have the energy to commit to that annoying character. I think I have both like a couple of things, right? There's like a couple of parallel processes. There's the TikTok writers room, which is often really, really helpful in kind of being able to kind of work out what to do and generate ideas, pick apart videos. We usually watch them together, which we might do, but I get blocked straight away because it's like you're playing someone else's content. Yeah, well, no dare, all right. So then there's one part that's like watch a video and then brainstorm. There's another thing that's like I pick up a lot of crap from the side of the road and op shops where I'm like, oh yeah, that could be a bag, but I don't know what for. So at the moment, I've got a letterbox, a white letterbox, Australian style letterbox sitting in my laundry that I'm like, oh, I want to use that for a video that has a white bag. Just because I think it's so funny. And I'd never seen a letterbox just at an op shop before. It was like $10. I just haven't found a reason to use it. So that's one. Sometimes there's like a complex like formula to apply, which is like match the customer to the type of the bag. So if the customer's interested in exotic birds, then maybe we use a frozen chicken as the bag. Or if the customer is from a specific country, then maybe we align the kind of bags with items from that country. Do you know what I mean? Like, but then that sometimes it gets overwhelming. There's this video from ages ago that I really just like went way too hard, and it's way too dense, but it's such a helpful marker in my creative process because it's like, Kyle, there's way too much going on. I tried to make it Welsh themed by getting in the longest Welsh train station and do a Welsh accent and do all these Wales references. And at the same time, I was trying to do like a Brookie Cookie Australian drama reference where I'm talking about Brookie Cookie, where that blew up, where she was copying Nagi and Nagi was accusing her of stealing her recipes. And I was trying to use Recipe Tin Eats book as the props along with the cookies. It was, and then meanwhile, Love Luxury, so there's this third layer of like Love Luxury. And it's like, no one is writing a PhD thesis on this, Kyle, which is what is required to unpack the full nuance of what you created here. So it's so unnecessary. They just do the videos, mate. And even though I sort of dragged someone in the comments one time when they were like, no offense, just do a little this. You don't have to add so much. And then I used that as a reply. And then everyone very kindly came to my aid, was like, you do you, boo. Go do the videos that you want to. And I appreciated that. And yet at the same time, I was like, I think there is some truth in that as well. Like, keep it simple, stupid. Okay. Sometimes they choose me. Sometimes we choose the bags. Sometimes the bags choose me, you know? Okay. Oh, Alex, you've got to come up. You've always, so we normally never do this time slot. I was just experimenting with what a 9 a.m. in Australia feels like to jump on live. Normally I'd like do a 1 p.m. or a 2 p.m. Australian time, which is quite late, but then it gives me enough time. I used to have this French course that I do in the mornings, which would throw out my mornings. And what's this burping going on? I'm so sorry. Anyway, okay, but I'm glad that I caught you today. What happened to Love Luxury originally saying they would collab with you? I'm guessing this is N4. What's N4 mean? Well, I don't know what that means. Just to give you the brief story that I often retell, and I'm so sorry for regular viewers that you have to hear this every time. They reached out. I got excited. I shared that online with their permission. People got excited. I sent them test shots of the green screen that we were going to do. They sent me a script. Pretty crap, but I was willing to do it anyway. I also asked, could you fly me to London or Dubai to film the video? They said no. I said, no worries. I'll just do it in my lounge room. Green screen, send it through. We did that. I then said, I'm going overseas to America on a road trip. I'm going to need, I'm not going to be very quick. I was, just so you know, at the moment, it's really weird because I sit around all day not doing very much and making videos just because I can and want to, and then having a bit of a sabbatical. And then that was not the case at the time. I was working about 3 jobs and 1 full-time, as well as making these videos. And then I went overseas to the US on a road trip. Shout out to San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, my favorite, and San Francisco. I've already said that. Okay, it was such a great trip. Thinking about doing another one this year to see Meg Stalter and O'Mary on Broadway. But we need to book that like today. Anyway, then by the time I got back, I even looked up studios in places like Oregon to see whether I could just go film something, because I didn't have all my filming equipment with me, which is why I'm filming stuff in like parks from that trip, right? Then when I got back, I'd made some other Love Luxury videos, and I'd done a little bit of like pushing the button, I think, and like taking them a little bit more snarkily. And I think they picked up on that. Then they withdrew the offer because I came back. I was like, hey, just checking you're right for me to send through the videos. And they were like, please don't. And I was like, okay. And then that's up. And then that was at like 40,000 followers, I think. And now we're at 94. So we've come a long way, but that's where we are. So now you're caught up to speed. Could use Fairy Bread as a bag, as a stand-in for a disgusting bright magenta hot pink color bag. And do you know what? That would be great to call in Sherilyn Barnes, the inventor of Fairy Bread as well, who would be able to, thank you, Finn, for sending the pussycats. I find it hard in TikTok Live Studio to keep up with when people are sending stuff. I'm so sorry, but thank you. Sherilyn Barnes, who has joined us in live before and offended half the people in the I got actual messages after that live with people being like, I did not like that woman. I did not like that woman. That was really not okay, what she was saying. And anyway, fair enough. Sorry, I'm just scrolling back up to see LimeWire days. Yes, okay, great. Had a phone bill for $500 once because of text. Anna, spewing. How old were you? Was that a case where your parents needed to help you out with paying that, or did you handle that yourself? I was very lucky in that my parents gave me no money to buy phone credit. But there was, remember back in the day, there was like different like weird scams and schemes and things where you could earn credit for things. Or I had this, I've said this before, and I had this dodgy, weird phone plan where on my first phone, which was a, wait for it, let me bring it up so I can show you. Did anyone else have this phone? You got it by getting enough tokens from Coca-Cola cups, of which I would hang around the. This makes me sound like I was homeless. I wasn't, but I would hang around and like take people's rubbish if they didn't peel their little Coke phone thing off. And then you took them to the post office and paid $50, and you got a Motorola Coke phone. Oh my gosh, that was her. Did you ever have this or remember this phone? It was like honestly, I think it was $50 in 2000, and I'm gonna say like 5, and you kept the coupons, and you took them, and then you took that like a weird amount of them, and it just felt like, what is this promotion? I'm so glad we don't do as much stuff like that anymore as a marketing tactic. It was such a good solid phone, like it had you. I don't think it had polyphonic ringtones. I think we were still in land, monophonic, but it had Snake on a, not color obviously, but like what a solid little tank. You could throw that mother against a brick wall and she'd bounce basically. Um, Remember phone shops with names like Mad Harry's and Crazy John's? I know. And do you know what I thought of? I did this plane flight that was like 2004 themed the other week. And I was trying to think up like, this is how like calculatingly self-aware and strategic I am. But like if I was interviewed by any kind of media thing, like what's my quick clippable jokes that I was going to do? And I was just going to commit to the 2004 character. And I was like, what would be a big thing to invest in 2004 that would quickly be over? Like fax machines were already on the way out, right? Like we were still using faxes, but no one was thinking it was the next thing. And I was like, oh, imagine being like, I just invested really heavily into polyphonic ringtones. I think they're the future. It's only up from here. Knowing that like we only had like, I don't know, 5 more years of ringtone culture being so big. I got my PlayStation 2 in a phone plan deal. That is wild. Isn't that so funny? I guess there's still some things now where you can get like an Apple Watch or stuff, but like love that. And also, hi T, didn't say hi. You should try and find that phone again and use it as a white and red mini video. Oh, I would love to find that. Let's just have a little look. How much is a motor? If we wanted to buy that, just as a little nostalgic callback, can I just say, the great thing about being in your 30s and privileged is the ability to just manifest nostalgia in the most like satisfying way. If you want a Tamagotchi, I can order one right now and probably have it at my door if I wanted to pay a lot by tomorrow. Like it's so wild that in your 20s you don't really have enough money, I think, like to buy things that you remember, or you remember a movie or something, you're like, oh, I don't know, I can't remember that. In your 30s, like, you sort of generally have enough adult money to like waste on things, so i i really I really appreciate that. Now a Coke phone today will set you back $185. Are you effing kidding me? Now the question is, do I still have mine somewhere in the cupboards, like of my parents' house, or 239 Australian dollars? That's wild. Okay, so we need to try and find that if it's still somewhere. Wow, it's a collector's item. I thought I had a sneeze. I really thought I had a sneeze. Okay. Teresa asks, "Love Luxury should feel appreciative. Imitation is..." No, she doesn't ask that. It was a comment from ages ago. I'm so sorry. "You're ahead of me. My first phone was in 2006 and a BlackBerry." Whoa! BlackBerry's just such a, if you did that Google search for like terms and how much they were being used, BlackBerry was such of its time, wasn't it? That 2000s era. But what a time for like cool and interesting designs of phones. So I had the flip phone as well. Let's bring up the Motorola Razr because that was my one. A group of friends like got put in money for me to get that as my next phone, and I so appreciated it. Motorola Razr. Oh, here she is. I had the black one, but I had a friend that had the pink one as well, but you know what they look like. You don't I think there's a new version now too, right? We're not gonna be spending on the money on the Coke phone. I love nostalgia, but not that much. You had the Nokia version. T had a Nokia version of a BlackBerry and a hip top, which was the Aussie version of the Sidekick. Exactly, yeah, and what a cool function. I can still feel that, like, kinesthetic kind of, like, click, that like, such a satisfying, slide. I love being an adult so much, even having less time. I have money to spend time better. Michael, it's so true. And I just want to say that to any children listening, you shouldn't be, because I set the settings to like get the F off my stream. But I also want to say, sucked in being a kid, it's the worst time in your life. No, just kidding. Being a kid's great, but school is the worst time in your life, I find. But I agree, being an adult is really great. And being an adult in the 21st century, can you imagine if we still had to wash clothes on a washboard? Oh, I'm so grateful. I just want to just scroll up here for a moment. McDonald's Monopoly Core, correct. The same, same thing, different font, right? As the which I've also my relationship with gambling extends to McDonald's Monopoly. It used to exclusive. I used to be so hard in, was so disappointed when it switched to a digital format. It's just not the same as collecting scrappy little food laden little things torn off single use plastic things that will soon pollute the earth. It's 1 a.m. in Ireland. Brian, what are you doing up at 1 a.m. in Ireland? You need to go to bed. 7 p.m. Central. Great. Okay, you're welcome for the answer. Um, yes. Okay. In the words of Meatloaf, less is not more. More is more. High Sweet Remedy Studio. I would read a thesis on your creative process, Alex. You need some more hobbies, but thank you. Right, we're up to date, I think now. Okay, my candle is cozy. You bought an official McDonald's binder on Vinted for the McDonald's cards, which was a promotion here. McDonald's cards. Could you tell me a little bit more about that, Alex, just so I understand? Because I'm not familiar with McDonald's cards. Collectors. If I write that, will I know what that means if I look this up? Is it the trading cards? In Australia, here are some of the most iconic vintage, or we're going to like nostalgia territory, aren't we? But like, here are the most iconic McDonald's Happy Meal toys, usually from my childhood that I remember. Snoopy's. I know that that was universal because I've confirmed this before. I like Pokemon cards. Okay, got them. They were like, I don't remember that. The Barbies, definitely the Barbies. I also remember uh, back in the day, some really durable hard plastic kind of toys that were just the kind of burger McDonald land, like the burger and Grimace and whatever, but they were kind of transformers almost, and they folded down into the actual burgers and folded back out into the figurines. Wild transformer level S. I remember obviously the Monopoly. We all like remember that. Shaker fries, choose the cheesy cheese that the cheeseburgers, cheese lovers choose to choose when they cheese at McDonald's. That one where if you said that, then you get a discount. We were so cool back in the day. So cool. Walking up to a counter and being like, I bet you're not expecting this. Choose the cheesy cheese that the cheese lovers choose to choose when they choose cheese when they cheese at McDonald's. And what are you going to say? What, suddenly every like 16-year-old staff member on $12 an hour is being like, I think I just need to hear the articulation a little bit clearer in the last phrase. It just lost a little bit of clarity, and I wasn't so sure whether you were saying choose or cheese. Can I just have that one again? They're all suddenly speech pathologists and linguistic coaches to be able to like weigh in on that. Anyway, you got a free hat for the 1996 Atlanta Olympics. Wow. Okay, that's pretty cool. Ali McWise says, I still think I have the Transformers. Ali, you're so lucky. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Other mascots, yes, okay. I don't know about any other McDonald's mascots until the Grimace Shake was a thing. UK didn't have any other mascots. Wow, okay. No, we had big fat Grimace. I don't know that that's appropriate to say, Kyle. We had large purple shaped Grimace. But Grimace felt like Birdie, Ronald, they all look like they're the wrong body shape for people who exclusively seem to live off McDonald's. You know what I mean? And I'm not basing that opinion off Super Size Me, the documentary, which we all know now was that guy struggling with alcoholism. Rest in peace. Not so much just eating McDonald's. Do you know that? Like, have you that documentary? And then it was exposed that, like, oh, the reason he was like throwing up because he was binge drinking a lot of the time during filming as well, not just because he was on McDonald's. Not saying that McDonald's is such a healthy option. I'm just pointing that out. Okay, Andrew, sorry, returning to you on YouTube to say, okay, you remember in New York City watching cell phones catch on? Sorry, I'm only laughing because absolutely I can remember in Australia cell phones catching on. But don't you think that makes us sound like we went to school on a coal powered steam train and then walked 15 miles in the snow? It's like, I remember when the cell phones caught on. I remember when the cell phones caught on, and all the kids were into the texting and whatnots, and oh, it was just a wild time. I was in one room and they were texting me in the other. Um, at first, it appeared as if everyone was talking to each other on matching phones, like the agents in the Matrix. Don't gamble. Oh, yes, got it. That McDonald's is a local export. It's from SoCal. Yes, okay. A really bleak area of SoCal. Snoopy McDonald's toy, Eagles Godingo 2112 remembers, I'm a boarder. Do you mean hoarder? Great cross country road trip treasure hunts. Been there, done that. What I loved, the anthropological study that was visiting Goodwill stores in America. I mean, I love op shops in Australia, don't get me wrong. I like them more as I get older because I just have I think, a better sense of, like, what looks good in my home and clothes and stuff like that, and just ultimately try not to buy clothes. And trust me, as someone who's, yes, buying costumes on the regular and then returning the next day, it's, like, getting a bit old. Anyway, but American Goodwill stores, you see the relics of things that look nothing like Australian op shops. And Australian op shops, correct me, people will know, interesting finds, but you start to see the cultural detritus of what people have bought. Things that are high value, low value. What absolutely does my head in is when op shops display those gross terracotta bowls that you buy dips in at the supermarket. Like, no one is buying them. Put them in the bin straight away, or smash them up and come up with some clever ceramics or something. But also, don't donate them, you whack jobs. I'm so sorry if you donated any of those terracotta dip bowls, but I just think that's crazy. But in America, you're getting stuff obviously from decades ago that people are cleaning out their houses or whatever, and they just look so unfamiliar, like little ceramic vases and jars of faces and like American characters that are just so unfamiliar to me. It is fascinating. It is really, really, really fascinating. I had such a good time, like, going through Goodwill stores. Yeah. Oh, as I talk about this, I'm like, I really think I want to book this trip to America. Can I afford it? No, but can we manifest money? Yes, we can. And so in that way, yes, we can afford it. Let's make it happen. Hi, Becca. I said before that I love how abbreviations used to be necessary, but are now for laziness. Oh, love laziness. I'm all about laziness. I had Hamburglar at a birthday party along with Ronald. Oh, that's the other thing, right? McDonald's birthday parties. Back when the Mackey's parties were great. And that was a time as well. I have this Polaroid, not because they were the only cameras that existed when I was young, but because that is kind of was a thing of, like, go to a McDonald's party and get a Polaroid of my, I think, 10th or 12th birthday. I'm going to say 10th. And it's just so sweet. Like, I see myself there and all these friends from school, just like ruddy faced because we'd all been called in from just going absolutely mental on the McDonald's playground after eating real, like, low quality food, obviously, and playing games. And then time for the birthday cake. And probably Joshua Price went and did a spew after that. But, like, we're all just sitting there, like, beaming with just, like, fun, joy. Oh, such a remember of childhood innocence. The way that teens today have no idea the lol comes from us having to text with a character limit. Exactly. The scene in Smurfs and that seeing the people in New York City with their wireless earphone cells talking. Yes. That's me, the Smurf from the olden days. UK has a ban on using cartoon characters to promote fast food, so that's why we have minimal mascots. Michael, what? This is absolute news to me. Can we just write that down for a fact check, please? Why don't I have my document open when we have all these interesting tidbits coming through? The UK has a ban. Sorry, what? Does the UK, not that I'm questioning you, Michael, I just want to get a little bit more information here on cartoon characters, mascots, fast food. Okay, here's what Gemini, the AI, I've just used 16 cups of water. I'm so sorry. Would everyone please mind having one less cup of water today just so I can excuse my only for McDonald's. Our Uber Eats app has a thing you need to click to confirm you are not ordering to a school. That's so funny. The UK, but also what kid can afford to get Uber Eats delivered to a school? Do you know what I mean? Or is that teachers? Okay. The UK does not have a blanket statutory ban on cartoon characters and mascots of fast food and unhealthy behavior, but it imposes severe, legally binding restrictions on how and when these foods can be advertised. The specific regulations include broadcast and online ad ban. The UK government enforces sweeping rules for products high in fat, salt, and sugar. Advertisements for these foods are banned on TV before 9 p.m. and prohibited online at all times. That's not true in Australia, is it? I mean, it's so hard because I don't watch TV. And I don't say that in like, I don't watch TV. I mean, I watch TV, but I'll just like watch a downloaded season of The Real Housewives. I don't have free to air TV. I haven't owned a TV I haven't lived in a house with a TV since 2018. That's wild. Not because there's some like great pious mission there, just because free to air TV is the worst. And I've just always had a laptop. Okay. Glen Explore. Are you paid by who's normally in here asking about the Real Housewives? I can't remember, but it's my thing of like I have to keep talking about it and people and being so coy so that people keep encouraging me to restage the Real Housewives of Amsterdam dinner scene because that's what the world and internet needs more of. But I'd have to say my favorite housewife is probably, I think durationally, if I had to go all seasons, I have to give credit to Kyle. I think she's disappointing lately, but I have to give credit. She's put in the work and she's dragged her family in. I think Kim Richards, it breaks my heart to watch someone like in addiction, but I think holy smokes, she gave way more than she, I'm sure, was paid for her time in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I also think Beverly Hills. I mean, there's so much boringness. I mean, not Erica's good value, but again, it's hit and miss. Some seasons she just seems to do nothing, and other seasons it's like all, and then some seasons we're gifted with Tom rolled his car last night and it rolled 3 times and went to the hospital, but he's okay, but we'll have to just find, that whole monologue. It's like, okay, that's worth it. Lisa Vanderpump, I would say, probably was my favorite housewife when she was on. Dorit, yeah, fine. Like Sutton, boring. Crystal, boring. But I love that. Wait, I just want to say about this. I'm so sorry. We're really going off, but let me just hang on. Let's just Andrew Hicks, Kim Richards, OMG. I just want to say Escape to Witch Mountain. Oh my gosh, we should do a watch party of Escape to Witch Mountain to watch the Richards sisters. Are they both in that or just Kim? Let me know. Nanny and the Professor. Oh boy. Now we're really going back. Kathy, I find just hilarious, even with her likely use of an F slur at that like club in wherever that time. But I just want to say, what really disappointed me about the Crystal Minkoff first season or was it the second? But with the run-in with Sutton and the whole the problem is Crystal came off looking really stupid and weak and twisting her words. And I feel like ultimately she sort of got pushed out of the season because everyone's like, oh, you're a liar or you're kind of a dramatic or whatever. Where it's like, if she was just a little bit sharper and a little bit more able to linguistically joust with the other housemates, she could have got Sutton off that season and ridden us of just more boring Southern drawl from Sutton for the next couple of seasons. She could have gone in so hard to justify, and I believe is true, to be like, you need to understand that as a younger person who is also one of the only people of color on this cast, that by you coming in here and then twisting the story to say I'm being hysterical, outrageous, whatever, it's not a good reflection of you, Sutton. And when I'm saying violated or when I'm saying these other words, yes, I might be using extreme language, but I'm making a point to say I feel uncomfortable. I've chosen to share some parts of my life, but not all of them. And you using really dated racist rhetoric like, I've got an Asian friend, my daughter has a black friend, what all this kind of stuff is like, it just shows how disconnected you are from the most inclusionary kind of layered approach to thinking about intersectional theory and about how as white people we're constantly just needing to kind of just be a little bit aware of the oppressive structures that we put into place. But instead she was like, oh sorry, I'm being useless, oh I'm stressed, your fugly genes. And then that all blows up where it's like, oh, she could have owned that and then dominated. But instead we had this like all the girls being like, you're crazy. And they're doing it a bit to Amanda, who I also don't like at all. I find it just really like just insufferable. Like whether she's right or wrong, it's fine, but it's besides the point. But I feel the women kind of being like, Amanda, shush. The reunion was like really, really just like, okay, well, if they're not going to bond with her or make any effort, please don't have her back because I don't want the whole arc to be about like, I'm young and sassy and manifesting and you can't keep up. Ugh, boring. Amanda is almost too well adjusted to be on the show. There's such low risk that her marriage is going to blow up or there's going to be some really strong plot point off it. And proven in this current season. Okay, sorry, a lot, isn't it? A lot that would really, okay. Sorry, let me just roll up here for a moment just to say that like, I find the way English-speaking countries have a blended but also alien culture so interesting. Alex, can we just talk about my favorite word that I learned, I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but this is what it makes me think of. Parallel monoculturalism. And the greatest example in Australia that I've seen is living in the Northern Territory or in Darwin, where in Australia, First Nations population is about 3%, like people who identify as First Nations, Aboriginal Australians, is about 3%. In the Northern Territory, which is one of the states or territories of Australia, like Queensland, Victoria, New South Wales, whatever, 33% of the population is First Nations. So it's a large visible population and largely due to remote communities. But there's a very interesting thing that happens where even though there is such an overwhelmingly large visible community of people like First Nations people living there are white people who live right next to them, quite literally, but also in complete parallel, not in a multicultural, community aligned, we are one, all in together, in a I see you when I go to the bus stop. I don't talk to you. I don't acknowledge you. I get on the bus and I later on, sit in meetings about that might impact you, but I don't necessarily have any connection to you. So this idea of like parallel monocultures, white, black, living in parallel. And there's other examples in Darwin too, because it's so close, its proximity to Asia. There's like huge Indonesian, Sri Lankan populations, a lot of people from Myanmar, really interesting how people will still stick to their own cultural bubbles. But anyway, someone taught me about parallel monoculturalism, and I was like, oh, that totally encapsulates Darwin. People feel like they have this entitlement or permission to weigh in because they've been in proximity to people of color, where it's like, are you connecting with that culture or are you observing from the outside? Interesting. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Birthday Polaroid. Yes. Okay. It's really difficult for me to work a scroll. I wonder, is there a better format rather than a scrolling fountain of comments? Like, is there a better way to see comments? Like, could they be populated graphically or visually in a more interesting way? Okay. Tiny music players. Oh my gosh, I'm going so far back and I haven't read any of these. Okay. At some point I just have to accept I'm not going to be across everything. But it's like parallel monoculturalism, but I'm in USA, England, Scotland, Wales, Oz, New Zealand, having similar. Yes. True, right? Similar, and then these moments of like stark, like, huh? You call it that, or that's what you do at Christmas? But exactly, a very like a shared, I guess it's like colonial remnants of like colonial dispossession around the world, right? Would that be a fair thing to say? Canada as well. Okay, streaming on the Purple app would be way better. The comments don't like disappeared. Oh, is the Purple app the one that rhymes with snitch? Are we not allowed to say it? Twitch? Is that the Purple app? I was just saying earlier, were you here at the start when I was like, I need to learn how to use that, but I need to just, I think I need to become a consumer on it first. Show us the Budgie Smuggler collection for us. Hey, excuse me. Did you know that I tried Speedos, or as I call them Speedos, but like Budgie Smugglers? One was I tried them on for the first time on the weekend. Although this body is getting fitter and stronger and slimmer and healthier every day, we still not budgie smuggler ready. Let me just tell you that. I was like, I mean, people would say everybody is a budgie smuggler body. Everybody is a Pilates body. But I was like, "Ooh," I was going to film this video to Meg Stalter's Prettiest Girl in America on an Australian beach because it was a nice sunny day in Queensland. And I was like, I'm not feeling confident in a budgie smuggler yet. Yeah. Give me some time. I'll get there. But I was like, maybe summer's a good goal to work towards. I know that you're probably just having like a rude interjection or a dig or something there, but I just wanted to talk about that anyway. UK rules were changed after TV chef Jamie Oliver declared war on unhealthy food for kids. Oh, what hasn't that saint done? Was Jamie Oliver responsible for that? Said T. Yes, correct. TV license. Yes. Yes, exactly. McDonald's was absolutely a treat when I was growing up. We're going too far back, Kyle. We're onto a different topics. Okay. Speedo is a brand, but it is also what is loosely referred to as. I find the idea of budgie smuggler repulsive and too visually stimulating for me to kind of get on board with using. But Speedo is a brand in the same way that people will say, "Oh, my Hills Hoist," and they mean clothesline. But Hills Hoist is a brand, but it's also used to refer to as collectively the thing that is the clothesline. A swim brief. I'm just going to have a brief swim in my swim briefs. All right. Okay. Okay. The Beverly Hills franchise legitimately made the cast stars. Until then, they were monsters. If I saw a housewife at a party, I would run the other way. Now I would want to say hello. And it was because of New York, Beverly Hills. Yes. Okay. And I think of New York and I go, yuck. I think of New York and I say, get me out of here. You know, that interview with Meg Stalter when she's on one of the late night TV shows and he's like, how did you find America? How did you find London? And she's like, well, sometimes you'll just be sitting there having breakfast. Really great. Sometimes you'll just be sitting there having breakfast though. And you'll just think, get me out of here. And I couldn't agree more. Also, I just want to talk about this for a moment. Mountain Professor, great housewife, manipulate. It's terrible how PR manipulate kids. 2 all beef patties, sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame bun. In the 80s, if you could say that in 60 seconds, free Big Mac. Lol. 40 years of op shops, some amazing clothes. There's something about, you can tell old. I'm not a big kind of like preserve the past traditionalist or anything like that, but like there are just some like clothes that I have. These are, I mean, this is upcycled, but other op shop clothes, particularly men's button-up shirts, which they're old, right? And you get them from the op shop already being worn, but you can just tell they're going to survive another 10 years because they're like hearty and the material is hearty and probably leaking microplastics every time you give them a wash. But really, they don't, like, I've got stuff from, our kind of, they say they pass an ethical kind of clothing test and they're not fast fashion, but cotton on. And it just, like, it tears. Like, it's a jumper I had tears. These work shirts I got, like, tore within the first like 6 months to a year, little rips that are just so annoying when you're like, so I just cannot come at JJ's, Cotton On, any of those kind of like shopping center stores anymore. Okay. Oh yeah, what I wanted to talk about, sorry, and then we should go. I really want to try and be disciplined to being like an hour on and only an hour, Kyle, and then go. We didn't even watch The Love Luxury though. Maybe we finished with The Love Luxury. You know that video that's she got like bullied because a street reporter, TikTok style content creator came up to her and was like, "What's your favorite cuisine? What country, what's your favorite cuisine?" And she was like, British. And he's like, wrong. And she's like, it's opinions based. And he's like, no, it's not. There was a study or something. And like the whole thing is a bit like troll, clickbaity, whatever. The clothing test similar to the Bechdel test, yeah, where it's like I think we can probably aim a little bit higher than just whether they talk about men or not, and people have those examples of I don't know. Do you have it at the top of your head, Alex? The one where it's like people say, oh well, this movie passes the Bechdel test, and we can all kind of objectively agree that it's pretty still not great reflection of women and women in movies. Oh, thanks, nice Nikki. That's a nice thing that you said. You were living up to your name. But what in that thing when she's like, it's opinions based, and then she says popcorn or something like that. So the whole thing is a disaster. But I think, but I also am like, and often, do you do this? Often when I watch those videos, those kind of gotcha things where people get called out, I start rehearsing my answer in my head where I'm like, you're not going to get me. You're not going to get me. If I get caught in the street, I'm going to have a really good answer for you. I'm not going to be embarrassed. I'm going to have something really funny and interesting or like correct or intelligent to say, or just the confidence to be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Please stop asking me questions. And I don't want to be filmed and I don't give permission for this to go on the internet. But instead, people always just bumble through something. And I was thinking about like, yeah, British food. I don't think anyone thinks that the stodgy, baked beans on toast or spotted dick or anything like that are the kind of epitome of world-class thing. But then I was also like, but do you know what? I've eaten at the Fat Duck, Heston Blumenthal's restaurant in, what is it, Maidenhead? It was incredible. One of the best meals in my life, dining experiences. And I guess that is technically British food. Someone could say that it's like French or European, like inspired a bit more than British. But there were things, he has that dish that is the famous one with the like by the seaside or whatever, where you put headphones on while you're eating the sea foam and whatever else. Ugh. And then there was other like just really beautiful, I remember absolute like kind of beef dish that was like just like incredible. I still feel like I can see the color of it in my head. And yes, that Heston's The Fat Duck is all about theatrics. And I mean, I go mad for a chipati. I go mad for a chipati. I would. Hey, bat, you want a chipati? And you want some black pudding? I don't mind black pudding. I do some chipati. Oh yeah, do you know what I'm talking about? I feel like it's the cliche. I should make a parody one about fine dining where it's like something ridiculous, because it is ridiculous. It is that movie, The Menu, right? But it's like you listen to the ocean while you're eating this. Another course they come round and hi, Cousin LaRouche. Thanks so much for being here. And very Uncle Bryn, wasn't it? I Stace. I've just been down the shops and I got something for you. And I thought of you. I'm trying to think of any Uncle Bryn lines. And I thought, well, that's not, that Nessa. She has got such strong potential, and she's also got such strong arms as well. She picked me up above her head last week. We were out fishing. That's the joke. I forget about that. He's always like, is it the brother that's out fishing or something? Oh, anyway, just every time I think about cringing and people cringe and bring back that girl and be like, British cuisine, oh my god, short answer. I am like, there's a lot of Michelin star restaurants and a lot of restaurants that end up in the top 100 restaurants in the world in the UK. The Fat Duck, it is I don't know if surely it's Michelin. I'm sure the Fat Duck is Michelin, like has a Michelin star. I am the Fat Duck Michelin. Let's see. The Fat Duck is a legendary 3 Michelin starred restaurant in Bray, Berkshire, England. It's what's so nice is that you catch, like you can, it's a little bit like, I guess, south, is it? Or let's be specific. Let's not say incorrect things, Kyle. Bray, the Fat Duck. and you can kind of stay out that way. And it's just such a delightful trip. The little town of Bray as well in Maidenhead is just, it's like you walk on like little cobbly sort of streets. And then there's actually another like restaurant that as well is kind of like quite renowned, I think, that I didn't go to, but it's just delightful. The walk from the train station to get to the Fat Duck. It's out. Never eat soggy wheat bix. West. Okay, thank you. And oh my gosh, near a place called Windsor. And do you know where I live at the moment? Windsor in Melbourne. Okay, but the near a river as well. It is so expensive. I cannot emphasize how expensive it is. It really is kind of like, you know, honeymoon special occasion kind of dining. It is it a lot. Big news on the Michelin front, everyone, because this is now a dedicated food channel. We're getting our first Michelin star rating approval in Australia. So I feel like we're about to see, particularly South Australia, up their culinary game, which is already through the roof. It's phenomenal. There is definitely Michelin worthy, star worthy restaurants in Australia. I feel like we do that really well. But I reckon you're about to see people hungry for it. I went to Bray the other week, which is definitely worthy of a Michelin star in Australia. Very expensive, but like, oh, they grow everything in their little orchard. You get a little orchard tour. Wild. Birthday present. Very special time. Okay. I just popped in to say that I love your videos so much. You are amazing and hilarious. A creative soul. I love when people say nice things, and I really appreciate that. So thank you so much. Like a 36th anniversary. Ooh. You'd rather a bowl of cereal? I tell you what, you could have many, many bowls of cereal for the price of a dining session at a Fat Duck. Can we talk about how a Michelin star isn't even a star? It's a flower. Here's the real journalism that not enough people are doing. Why is it a Michelin star when it's actually a flower? You may know food, but you do not know graphic design, and someone needs to get onto that immediately. Agree. Naughty Norman. Okay, all right. New glasses. Oh no, I have plenty of glasses that are just sitting around all the time. I think there was another pair here. They're all old prescriptions, which I know you're not supposed to wear, but my latest prescription does not seem right. It gives me a little bit of a headachy. And so I just grab whatever glasses are near. These are my least favorite probably glasses I own because they're not the right shape for my head. And I find they bend out of shape really easily and sit there. Okay. Have you got a mushroom on your jumper? Thank you for asking, Casla Rouge. I do. I've got many mushrooms on my jumpers, in fact. Oops, sorry, YouTube. Here's a little sneak peek for you. This was made in the Blue Mountains, home of many mushrooms, magical and other. And I bought it at a market from a mushroom stall. Alex, shout out to Earth Rising Mushrooms. And he was also selling his partner Upcycles clothes, and this was for sale, and I just loved it. Okay. A creative soul. What is your career? Well, let me tell you, a creative soul. Someone on Instagram, when I posted that last video, very kindly said, you should think about pursuing acting. And I said, oh, thank you so much. That reminds me of the time where I just dropped out of NIDA and was, amateur theatre, short play and Wagga Wagga. And I was about to go on stage when the like very kind of like awkward younger guy next to me was like, I just want to say, you're really good. You should think about auditioning for drama school. And I said, thank you. I've already like cocked up my life choices enough that I'm in Wagga Wagga doing a short play after being at drama school. So I appreciate the advice. I've already taken it though. Thank you. So I don't know what my career is, a creative soul. Maybe I'm a creative soul too. Can I take your option of like, my career is a creative soul. That's what I do. I'm just here to create stuff and I don't know. Have a great day at work. Nice, Nikki. Enjoy. Sorry, it's not a public holiday for you, but have a good one. Okay. Right. My sister and I, yeah, we've read that. Thanks, T. I appreciate that. Let me know. Yeah, I'm so glad that I've done a NIDA mention and that, Katie, you've been here to witness that. So it's sort of like the bingo card is like Bobby saying White Maria, me mentioning I've been to NIDA, me saying about the TikTok Creator Fund, not having money in Australia, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Love Luxury, obviously, that's a given. And then I usually have to rag on local government. I usually have to, a few other things. Okay. New York City, the class differences are enormous and unbridgeable. Epistemology comes from the other side, from the perspective of the subaltern. Okay. Go, yeah, I think of New York and I go, yeah, I'm reading these all out of context and at the wrong time. So it's really not even, sorry, I'm sorry about that. Okay. Google tells me, yes, some people think the Michelin star is a flower, but it is officially a star. Okay, sing sing Viva Forever. That's the last on the bingo card. Okay, let's just have a quick look to see if there's. I did think I scrolled past the Love Luxury and was like, I think we've got another one that we could do, but let me just see. Hold on. Hey, the last video is not doing great. What are we up to? 20,000 views. What are we at? Hang on, 11 hours ago. It's at 2,300 likes. Hey, Kyle's live. It's at 2,300 likes at 11 hours. Not great. Well, no, great, like good, fine, but we're not going to hit 10,000 likes in 24 hours. So this one will sit lower, but okay, I think the public holiday in Australia might help me, so we'll see how we go. And no, not a surge as we crawl. Do you remember this? There's this chart up above me here. Oh, sorry. This is for TikTok perspective. This is for YouTube perspective. That has like I cross out 1,000 followers every time I hit one. Oh, in fact, we hit 94. Let's cross out another one. I cross out, but it says happy birthday at the 100,000 for April 22. And we're now coming up to June 22. So it's 2 months later than when I thought I'd hit 100K. So it's a little bit confronting to still have it up there. But anyway, them's the breaks, and that's where we are. Let's just have a look. What are your analytics? Are most viewers British and Australian? No, Alex, thank you for asking. Most of my viewers are American first and then British second. Then sometimes Australian third, sometimes the Philippines third, though, which feels like it was another strategic, extra weighted reason to doing a video with the Filipino characters and giving my best Philo accent, much to the cancelable risk taken in doing that. I'm aware. Okay, Di Rose has also said, this guy's a politician in the Philippines. This is not going to go down for them being featured like this. I saw all those comments on the original where everyone's like, is that a government official? Is that a politician? Which I was also like, oh, great. This will definitely kick off then. If it is someone important in the Philippines, that'll also get an extra wave of traction from videos. I low-key hate how Americans are evolving their humor to include satire. Alex, can you tell me more about that? I'm disappointed with the performance of my picture comment on your latest video. Oh, Casa LaRousse, let me find this picture. What are you talking about? I'm excited to see this picture. Let's see. Hang on. How will we find this? Okay, let's see. No, okay, I've got your non-picture comment, but let me find the picture one. Usually the picture comments show up a bit easier to find in the messages. Okay. Hold on. Just everyone hold, please, for one moment. Oh, sorry. What is this? Yeah, one of their mayors was arrested for facilitating human trafficking. Then again, Wealth Anywhere has dubious origins. Okay, well, great. I mean, if this character is not great that they've been arrested for human trafficking. I mean, great if they've been arrested. That's really good. I don't know what this person's talking to, but if they're a shady character, that's going to buy me a little bit of credit in terms of like the oppressive white person doing a Filipino accent. Okay, I think it'll have sunk. No, we're going to find it. I can scroll through. I'm not that popular that it's untraceable. I low-key hate how satire is beginning to include humor. What do you mean? Can you give me an example of what you mean? Like satire, to me, satire is different than parody. And parody is usually like a copy, like what I do, right? Like a copy that offers a cartoonish, caricatured version of something that we've seen. And the replication of it allows us to see it in a different body and therefore maybe a different light. Satire uses the kind of structures and language and elements in order to um, comment on a theme or something like that to subvert something. I hope I didn't offend you with a question about your career. Oh no, why? Oh, trust me, creative soul. That's not offensive at all. You need to go so much harder if we're even in the realm of being offensive. But anytime you're a beginning orchestra teacher, hats off to you. What instruments do you play? I'm assuming probably like everything, right? But do you come from the string or woodwind or wind background? Castle of Rouge, I'm still just scrolling through here. Can you give me an hours ago time that you would have posted this? 3 hours, 4 hours? T, I've just found your question on here. I need to know the exact reactions of the Officeworks employees that printed that banner. Well, the reactions were none because it was just the self-serve one. And I found a gift card that had $25 credit on it from I don't know when, probably a last-minute dash to print something for a fringe show. So that felt like a win. Just searching for this picture. Hold on, please. Hold on. Oh, Poop will get off the pot. I love that you're all up in the comments. That's so good. I remember meeting you on the live and we had a good chat. What's this? No, I can't find it. I can't find it. Last little check. Let me just go into the video and scroll that way. Oh no. The comments on the original said the guy is a mayor in the Philippines, which is apparently bad since he has only that money from corruption. Do you think that's true? How would you know? Okay. This is, just told my husband I will accept nothing less than going to Kyle to see what bag he has for me for our 36th anniversary. Do you think if I set up a live store somewhere, like for instance, given the bulk of my audience is in America, do you think I could get enough people to come to a live performance where I have a stall as Mario and people will line up one at a time, but we live stream it? Potentially I'll edit the videos later and customers come forward asking or selling me a bag and I in real time assess, evaluate, and offer them a bag. But we're dealing with like a bag of onions, or you just bring in whatever crap that has a handle and a thing for me. And I tell you whether it's fake or real, and you can also trade it for any of the stock that I have. And the stock that I have with me would be a whole heap of, stuff like that. That might be a fun thing, right? I just cannot morally give any energy to a fringe festival at the moment, so we just have to do it on our own terms. Okay. Does anyone, for instance, does anyone want a wet floor sign? Because I just said that last night. I was like, now that I filmed that video, what do I do with this? Do I take that? I didn't get that from an op shop. I bought that from a $2 store that was closing down. No, cannot find this picture. Maybe it's in the hidden comments and I didn't go back there. I'm so sorry. But anyway, okay. Sorry, I was supposed to be watching video and then going. Okay, hold on. Here's the thing. Katie, I just feel like it's bullying. When you bring that up and you know that that's and that's going to get my attention and that's going to make me self-conscious that I bring that up. I feel like that's actually literally bullying and I'm going to report you. Mods, kick Katie out of the chat. Kick Katie out of the chat and get her to send me a voice memo, please, and get her to watch more episodes of Bad Company. Okay, write that down, Kyle. I was going to upload my audition video for Bad Company too, because I really like when that actress does that video series where she uploads parts, her audition versus the parts that she didn't get. Why isn't this working? Okay, Drive. Okay. Okay. Your videos don't comment on the continuing through parody instead of going humorous way, I guess. You as the couple. That sounds like parody. My brother just we saw you from across the bar and we really dig your Birkin with the pic of you as the couple. Birking, not enough people are talking about Hermes swinging. Do you know what I mean? And it's something that we do need to bring up, and it's getting to be a real issue amongst, I assume, Gen X, you know? I just feel like millennials don't swing as much. Do you think that's true? It feels like a boomer Gen X thing. Am I correct in saying that? Okay, let's say maybe it's just not called that anymore. Maybe like the idea of swinging was replaced with like polyamory and kind of ethical non-monogamy and all the rest of it. Yeah, Alex, there is an Hermes store in Australia. There's many. In the weirdest of places too, like Cairns as well. But I need to go in and just like suss out. I think when I realized in Vietnam how easy it is to just go in there and talk your way in there, there's many in Australia. Wow, you're not going to believe this, but when we're not riding our kangaroos to work, we've also got buses and trains. Yeah, I need to go in and maybe just have a bit of a chat and see if I can start a little bit of a relationship. I was thinking, like, I guess if I buy a Twilly, that's probably one of the cheaper things that I could do. I need to do a wee, but I just need to write down this idea. Upload audition video. Live performance trade in. Can you just give me 1 second while I just go do a wee and I'll be right back. Speaking of willies, okay. Hi, I'm so sorry about saying speaking of Willy and then running off to go to the toilet. It's just because someone wrote Willy when they meant Twilly in here, and it just felt like a good segue. Right, now he's gone. I meant Size Revolution. Is that chair box leather or Swift? This is actually a really comfy leather chair. Yes, and it's expensive too. It's IKEA expensive. 400, 500, something like that. Australians get asked if they ride kangaroos to work. Nebraskans in the US get asked about riding cows. Does anyone watch the TV show Alone? Do you watch the TV show Alone at all? I cannot get enough of it. It's so weird because it's so outside of my interests. Outdoors, survival, camping, none of that personally do I want to do, but I love it. I cannot get enough of it. And I want to do, I mean, there's like two ideas that I like. I should do also like a parody of it, just to see how we go, because I love it and I love doing parodies of things that I like. But then also I thought there's like probably a fun one, like a series of like Alone Nam or like Alone Melbourne, which is like, the idea of a northern Fitzroy Carlton kind of Namcore Melbourneite kind of being like, I'm trying to survive, but like most of the coffee shops are closed on a public holiday, and I don't know how I'm going to get my Mont Blanc on a Tuesday, because I've also got to get to my permaculture class later on, and I'm just actually freaking out about if I've got enough calorie deficit to get through this. Damn, Carl, are you frying chicken? Okay. Yes, you need to get ready for work. Nikki, please do not be late for work, because TikTok Live is not a valid excuse to be late for work. The gentrification accent. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. Okay. I was just also writing here, live performance trade-in. People consent to being filmed, bring their stuff to me. I have to write some details because otherwise I read these notes after and I have no idea what I'm talking about. Stuff to me, I assess, price, trade in, buy, etc. with like Monopoly money. I mean, I don't have actual money to kind of pay for these things, but I think that would be so fun. And then people can bring their items. One of my favorite things, and I just broke a note of this as well, the king of giving, the prince of giving, the prince of giving, the king of giving, the prince of giving, king of giving. It was this Thomas Monckton, is that his name? Show that was in Sydney, Adelaide Fringe. He also had a show in Sydney Festival. He's a clown from New Zealand. He trained at Lecoq. And it was so good where it was a kid's show and the kids actually had to come. You had to bring, they gave very specific instructions. You had to wrap a present and bring it for the king. And there was like no food, no messy stuff, no whatever, but anything else could go. And so people would bring the most random garbage, but like also some nice stuff too. And he was discovering these things live on stage in real time and then dealing with them. And the whole, like, hard to explain, but he's so funny and whimsical and wonderful. And it was just such a great show. And there was such investment from the audience being like, ooh, he's going to open my present. What's going to happen? So I thought that maybe there's something to be drawn from that. Okay. You have had impact on my like dialect and my boyfriend quote, me and my boyfriend or best friend quote dream bag. That is literally my dream bag. Are we watching a Love Luxury or is it Another Purpose of Life? Sorry. Okay, yes, okay. Oh my god, got totally schooled by Caz LaRouche. Fair enough, too. You know, like get it together, Kyle. What are we here for? Like the time that someone in my like a drama workshop that I was teaching was this like rude old cow was like, okay, we get it. Can you stop talking? And I wanted to be like, yeah, can you do some good acting? Okay, let's have a look. That was not rude. I'm not saying you're like that rude old cow, Caz LaRouche. I was just saying sometimes I appreciate it. Okay, who's this red dress? I'm already getting excited. Here we go. Tell me what happened. What happened?
I'm back in the mini cup and I have just 15 minutes. I have to be.
The stakes, LaRouche-ish. The stakes could not be higher when the red dress is on, the dramatic strings are playing. I know, sorry, but Alex, part of it is that I can't play the phone too loud, otherwise this stream gets blocked. Oh, no, it doesn't. It just gets demonetized, which I don't care anyway. Okay, so let's just do it. We're almost done. Okay.
Don't worry, we can get it sorted. Number one, you look gorgeous, I have to say.
She's got a charity event in 15 minutes and she needs a bag. Okay. Rude old cow. I won't forget this one. See, just to be clear again, not about you, was about the person in my drama workshop who in front of about 30 people on the very first session was like, can you stop talking? Can we just start? When I was like explaining the rules of a game that they'd never played before. Hi, Chatty Bird Rainbow. Great to see you. We're just watching the video and you've missed all the nonsense, which is perfect timing. Says Caz LaRouche. Sounds likely.
So you said you wanted the bag, right?
Yes, I need the bag.
What are we looking
Yes,
for?
I need a bag.
Minnie Kelly Pochette.
She reminds me of Diana from, just to tie everything back into the Real Housewives. Remember when Diana was on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? She reminds me of that, actually.
You can show me something.
Yeah.
You can show me something that can save my life.
I'm going to show you
You
something.
can show me something. You can save my life. It's so, the irony, I love just the deafening silence that creates the space for the irony around using phrases like "you saved my life," "I've never been in more trouble," "this is awful," you know, these like extreme language being used about people buying accessories. It's so fun. I love it. It is so Hunger Games. It is so much bread and circus. It is so much razzle dazzle to keep us busy. And I've never been busier and I love it. In this lifetime, while I'm not a billionaire, I'm really loving my role as a peasant. I like as a court jester. I think it's quite fun. And there's no point being like, oh, could have been a billionaire, because it's like, I'm not. I'm a court jester and I'm loving it. What do we got, Mario?
Minnie Kelly's and Kelly Pochettes, and then hopefully we can take it from there. Okay? I'll be
Okay.
quick, I promise.
I'll be
So
quick, I
I've got you
promise.
some options. I know you're in a rush. I'm going to be very quick, okay? So we've got...
She's in a rush. I mean, luckily they did that edit, so they saved some time having to go watch her get the bag. So that'll buy us some time. Okay. I've been waiting for 5 months for spinal surgery, but no, your hand... I thought you were doing an intro to me. I've been waiting for 5 months for spinal surgery and I'm here to get a bag. Okay, I think that we have some absolutely brilliant options I can take you through. Can I suggest the scoliosis in gold? It comes on gold hardware as well, and it's a really beautiful bag. Notice the curved kind of S shape in the sides of the bag.
Kelly Pichette, so this is Babe
Maria, that is a ridiculous amount of bags for 15 minutes. You know that we don't have time to go through all of these. This is crazy, girl.
Like a brown color, and it's with gold hardware. And then we've got Green Misty, and it's with gold hardware.
Yeah,
as well.
Grey Misty, gold hardware, sure. Gold on gold, Swift leather, Cray with permabras.
And then, of course, we have a Bordeaux shiny.
Bordeaux.
No, that's not my outfit.
No,
She's not mucking around. She's like moving them through. She's like, no, that doesn't work with my outfit. Okay.
And then Mini Kelly, I thought.
No.
Shoot.
Okay, this is kind of fun because she does just go like no straight away to them. Finally, a bit of decisiveness.
And then we've got a Mini Kelly Rouge Cellier Epsom, and it's palladium hardware. I thought, yeah, it might be an option. Rouge Hate.
This is what Maria, although handling pretty much everything really well all the time with any situation thrown at her, unflappable in every sense. What Maria doesn't often kind of wrestle well with is people mucking the routine, the kind of cultural norms that we're used to, which is like, you don't interrupt, including the time that the customer was like, don't tell me the price of the bag. And she was like, I sort of have to and will. And she just told them the price anyway, where it's like, okay. And then also, just went in with someone's like interrupting. It's like, okay, but I sort of do have to get through these. And you'll hear both her and Emily both be like, okay, but I'll just still talk you through them. Even though someone will be like, I really like this one. And she'll still be like, I'm just going to talk through them. Okay.
Stretch palladium, no. And then Cray gold hardware.
No.
You know, actually, I like that one.
You prefer this one?
You know, actually, I like this. This could be the letterbox, but then I'd have to find a heap of other Kelly-shaped.
Also Cray, but this is with permabras hardware. Yeah. You're happy with this, right?
Yes, you can pack me this one, and also because I forget my bag and everything's inside, and I have to pay with Apple Pay, and I have to rush. I have to be there.
That's fine. No problem.
Honestly,
No
I
problem.
that one.
You prefer this one?
Wait, what is she even saying? She says.
Well, this is
that
also
one.
Cray, but this is with permabras hardware.
There's
Yeah.
no problem.
You're happy with this, right?
Yes.
Yes,
you can pack me
this one, and also because I forget my bag and everything is inside, and I have to pay with Apple Pay. I have to rush. I have to be
No
there.
problem.
Honestly,
Honestly.
now I have just 5 minutes.
No worries. I'll be so quick. So it's
But
£22,000.
you can pay £22,000 on Apple Pay. Is that normally? Is that normally? That's not normally. You could £22,000 on Apple Pay. Okay.
And what I'm gonna do is I'll ask to collect.
Yeah, don't need a signature because it's just sometimes like some stores will want you to have like the physical card. Let's try. Hey guys, I'm going to be live streaming in an hour from the Hermes store. Let's see if we can pay £22,000 on Apple Pay. There are some. Can I just say this from the Vietnam Hermes store? There are some fugly bags. I mean, clothes. Sorry, clothes. In like the ready-to-wear Hermes stuff.
To help you. One's gonna take the payment from you, and then we'll get the bag ready for you so you can wear it straight away. Okay? And then I'll ship
that's
the
okay.
box to your house anyway, so you don't have to worry about
It's
that.
okay.
Okay?
It's okay.
Okay, guys, I have to go right now, but you just saw that we sold this Kelly Pichette in Grace with permabras
Okay,
hardware,
so-
and hopefully you enjoy your new bag. Thank you.
Thank you so much because you helped me. Honestly.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bless your heart.
Thank you so much. Honestly, you saved my life. Cute, isn't that so funny? Chatty Bird Rainbow. I did one auntie in the market like was really pressuring me hard for it was a Kelly in orange age probably, like it was she wanted like it was going to be like Australian dollars, I think about like 70 or 80 Australian dollars. And I was already carry-on only that trip. It's my favorite thing to do is travel internationally with only carry-on. And I didn't know about already having so much crap to bring back into the country. And B, I was like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. As you know, I've already got those fakies, right? taupe, etc. And I just don't know what to do with them. Like I like they're just a bit. It's like the joke. They don't work well as a joke in a video. I mean, and I haven't thought of the joke in the video, but maybe we can together. So no, I didn't get one. Yeah. Okay. 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 What do we do? Have you seen the Chelsea Lee is that CLA vid where she goes to Love? Yeah, I know. It's really. I didn't watch that the whole way through, but it was just such an odd worlds colliding. I feel like any 5K should probably approved by a banker beforehand. Yeah, but when you say banker, I picture like an old school, like in a movie, they're sitting at an old, beautiful building window right before they're going to get held up at gunpoint. Google image. Someone should Google image search the fake customers. Yes, I've never paid that much money for anything, so I wouldn't know. And that's why I was announcing the celebs. They run a shop. Have you ever had direct contact with Mario? She would love you, right? Okay. No, she doesn't seem to have an active Facebook account, but she has commented. The Love Luxury account has commented and said it's Maria, and she's like, I need this to stop. But she was just like, we found it. I really appreciate the videos, but it's like we're moving in a different direction and something else. I don't know if it was her or it was just. I just choose to believe it's not. But Kyle, come on, have you seen the movie Obsession? Accept it when a woman says no. Okay. Okay, great. CITES. Make sure I've got my CITES if you're taking that Exotic International. Absolutely. Oh, my hair looks really good. Thank you so much. It's a combination of shampooing it for the first time in like a week last night, and then also this lighting confusing, making it look fuller than it is. Maybe it's even a filter that does it. I think on my DJI Osmo, it fills out my hair a bit more. Okay. Yes, I really think use a first aid kit as a bag. I know, but we have used the first aid kit before, but what I'm learning is I think we can just do a bit of doubling up on bags that we've used before. People often aren't seeing, if a video has been up for more than 10 days, people generally don't go back and watch others. So I don't think anyone will remember the first aid kit from so long ago. And if they do, call back. Okay. New context. Why not? They do. Exactly. They're repeating bags. So why shouldn't we? Okay. So maybe we could use the letterbox, first aid kit, some others, something else. I've got a series. What did she say at the start? Wait, is that the only other? That one's pretty good. We could definitely look at that.
Guys, I'll see you.
And something about the doing it in a rush. I could do the whole thing at like double time as fast as I can. Like Trisha Paytas, how fast can she speak? Kind of thing of like, I'm in a rush to get in the bag. And then so Maria goes into double time, like, this bag. She's like, no, but this bag. You'll have to create Epsom Sally. Do you know what I mean? That could be fun. No.
Happy 36 weather.
That video is only up to 14,000 likes, the Filipino customer one. So that'll be good to track to see whether I can beat them in views and likes on mine, which is also a statistically satisfying thing.
Listen, I'm bored of black bags, so I would
can't.
like something
Sorry,
colorful.
I just can't do that. I just don't want to give him airtime, and I don't want to.
So I've been given the exact same watch by both of my boyfriends, so I'm gonna need to sell one of them.
She sounds a little bit Australian. She's got like a little leak of an Australian accent.
To help you with that. Okay, let's have a look. So it's an Audemars Piguet watch.
It's an Audemars Piguet watch.
Scared one of them's gonna.
I tell you what, at least the bags, I can kind of be like, the bags I can see, but I guess I'm just not in like male luxury world. But to me, the watches, I just think, how are they $30,000 as well? Anyway.
See this video.
They don't have social media.
Oh.
Don't worry, they don't have social media. She sounds like Rebel Wilson. Don't worry, they don't have social media. You know, some days I wake up thinking I should do crystal meth, but that's also a bad idea.
Okay. Oh, this is the watch that everyone is obsessed with. So this is the Audemars Piguet Frosted Petite Yellow Gold. Guys, this is 23 millimeter, and this is just so gorgeous. I've seen a lot of people wear the three colors together, like a jewelry piece, like a stick, basically, and it looks really nice.
Okay. This is definitely Australian. You don't get that many vowels in the response outside of Australia. Oh, really? Oh, no. Cleo. Katie, tell us, how many thongs is that? Trip thong, dip thong, whip thong, center thong? I don't know. Oh, no. You love the watch. Okay, now I have to pay attention.
Let me have a look at it, and we are definitely going to agree on a deal. Your bag is gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you.
And I love
Thank you. Your bag, it definitely, by the way, your bag is gorgeous, by the way. Thank you. I don't know what you mean when we chew on those vowels. All I'm saying is park the car near the banana. I don't know what you mean about chewing on vowels. Just park the car near the banana. It's not that hard. It's already annoying me, sorry. Okay.
Kelly Charm, and it's just matching. You've got
So hard to do though, as you're sweet. Don't you find like Australian accent, I think one of the hardest, because Brian Jordan Alvarez has got the best version of it I think I've ever heard an American do. It's so difficult. Even like Meryl Streep as Lindy Chamberlain. And what's tricky is that there's so many different variations of the Australian accent too. And it's not even as regionally specific as like America, where you have the kind of Southern, the kind of Midwestern, whatever else. Australia is so difficult. You have people that are bogans living in Sydney and people that are like almost have a British accent living there because they're, like this. And then they're so broad. Someone like Lindy Chamberlain is like, she's got such a specific kind of Australian accent, Well, they taught, I've seen dingoes where they peeled the skin off. Oh, don't say that's a bit triggering, Kyle, to just launch into. Okay. Alex, I'm knee-deep Substack writing, taking this as inspo to keep my work ethic up. Alex, Coach, get back to that Substack and get it down. Alex, can you just teach me a little bit about Substack for a moment, please? I sort of, again, just letting my decades of age just show through, sort of missed the whole Substack train. Now everyone's talking about Substack, and I'm like, what is it like? It's like a mostly monetized, vloggy, another platform, writing-based kind of a thing. But like, what is there an average length of writing that people are doing? What do you do? Is it like, oh, I write on Substack, no one reads me? I mean, that's the internet, isn't it? I do a thing and no one watches me. I don't like, I know that sounds funny coming from someone who's like holding a microphone and a thing, but I just am like, it's just, you just don't know that no one, right? Well, I mean, maybe you do, maybe the analytics say that, but then B, just finding your audience. I mean, it's a whole interesting thing that I think I'm just going to wrestle with in my time. And then this idea of like, who is watching you and what does it mean? And what is it? What's the difference between the sound of a tree falling in a forest if no one hears it? What's the difference between a Substack being written for you if no one reads it versus if lots of people? What's the difference between people knowing people have read it, or if people have read it but you don't know it? What's the difference between people actively saying they've read it? I talked about this in a YouTube that I did, where it's like, throwing a ball over the fence and you just don't know who's there on the internet. Like, even in this, it says 47 people. That could be like spammy bots, fake accounts, whatever. But there's like maybe a handful of us like actively commenting. It's a blog platform with good monetization options. I too write mostly to the void. Lol. Okay, there you go. Alex has given us the scoop. Thank you, Alex. I wanted to do vlogs, but I thought nobody would watch. Then I realized I don't want them to watch. I was scared that no one would watch, and then I was scared that people would watch, and then I was annoyed that people are watching me, and then I had to actively block them, and now, phew, I'm back to no one watching, and I'm finally, stasis is restored again. Why am I doing it? As a psych, it does my head in. What need am I trying to get? Interesting. Because I think also, what was weirding me out when I was posting those long form YouTubes for like 30-minute stream of consciousness, I've been a bit like this, right? But I feel a little bit more comforted that they just disappear. Was like starting to get a bit journaly and a bit diary and a little bit like too revealing, and then a bit like, hang on, at least in a live, I know the rules of the game. And at least in a video, I know the very, very much more limited rules of the game. But suddenly I started to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not hiding behind anything. And I'm just sharing everything. Not sharing everything, but heading that way. Anyway. Okay.
the gold hardware with the palladium quartz.
Is the watch one worth doing?
What I'm gonna do is send it.
follow you guys on Facebook all the time. I can't believe I'm actually here in London.
Cord fell down, but I thought a rat was like moving on my thing.
Of course, it's me. Do you want to see me or do you want to see someone else? Are you sure you haven't seen me?
No, you're the person I wanted to see.
Okay, I'm glad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if you could hear the start of that video, but what the F? I mean, this is my second one I'm doing, hoping to post tonight. I think they're long, but not unheard of. Okay, great. Good on you. Alex, should we be promoting these? I don't know how this works. Okay. What I fear though is if I say like, oh, I'm going to have a read, and then I don't, and then do you know what I mean? It's just yet another thing on my list of like get around to that I haven't done, and I feel guilty about it, and then I feel bad every time we come on here, and you're like, oh, blah. So like, but let's just have a look. Alex, are you 1-800 Vintage? What happened? I just need to start exploring. So there's okay. Choose a subscription plan so that you can do so it asks you up front. Wow. Oh no. Okay. So I'm not, let's just get out of 1-800 Alex Vintage. The Alex Coates. Yep. Okay. And then let's have a look at Chatty Bird Rainbow, yours as well. Okay. Okay. I'm going to navigate there from your TikTok. No, I won't, because there's not a link. Hell, I find this, Alex. This is okay. Okay, sorry, you've told me, and now I'm still asking. Sorry. Yeah. It's also just like there's so much to get through in life, isn't there? You have to really be aware that like you're not going to read every book. You're not going to watch every TV show. Do you know what I mean? I haven't watched Game of Thrones, and I've never started Mad Men. Thankfully, I've watched Breaking Bad, but I'm like, is that going to happen in my lifetime now? Do I have the 3 weeks spare to kind of catch up on these things when there's like new stuff being added all the time? Okay, but here's some feedback which you don't need and is not solicited at all. But Google makes search when you just try and search that really hard. And I hate going into sites to find stuff, but let me do it. Got it. Okay. Help people. No, don't tell me what to do. Okay. So I'm going to learn via, okay, sorry, Scabby, free. I've just done that, but let me look into that later. Okay. Right. And then we've got an address here. Thanks so much. Chatty Bird Rainbow. What? Real name reveal. Okay. Substack. Oh, I like that the thing let me do that. Okay. Look, there's 3 free to 3 publications. See, I guess I just tick all of them, right? Okay, we're in, we're signed up. This is how I'm going to learn. Okay, thanks so much. Everyone needs to stop making new things apart from Karl Marx Sebastian. Oh gosh. Okay, we've got to go. What are we doing? I'm just like slopping around now. I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for the Substack recommendations. Okay, Bella, please don't ask about the taxes. Get out. Just kidding. They're not submitted, but they're in the final stage. I will do it. SEO, that's the word I was looking for. Okay. Mark Sebastian has been a very key mood board kind of like influence, trying to work out how he puts together those vlogs, because I feel so unconfident. But I'm going to try and upload today on my jobs list. We've already been so productive. We've been on live. I submitted a review that I had written to the editor. And I also feel like I've got editing stuff in progress. There's a little like unboxing challenge for me to undo. They're like my uni exercises, right? In my diploma in TikTokology or content creationology, where I need to get brave and learn how to do a vlog, learn how to do other videos that aren't that, learn how to create comedy sketches that aren't Love Luxury based. And I think this week's a good week. I'm not traveling anywhere for a change, rather than like heaps of travel that I've had on. And so we should do that. No, I have another video with the Love Luxury tag still on it. I'm sorry. Zama XX Lama Zama Max. But I will. That's a good one. Okay. Will I? I don't know. This is the problem. When one of their video moves out of my consciousness, like it moves too far back in time. Like, for instance, that weird one with the woman saying she wants to see Adam. Lie, don't believe that. But that's 3 days ago. It's only got 5,000 likes on their channel and 64,000 views. So it's not, I guess, for my parasitic relationship, I want videos that are already being seen by large people in their feeds, so that then when they see mine, that kind of engagement gets boosted with the kind of hi, I just saw this video the other day or whatever, and the algorithm seems to reward that. Adam is the bag expert. Adam, is that you in your burner account as Alex T. Ford? Just had surgery and really enjoying your content. Oh, okay. Thanks, Jermaine. I hope you were resting well and recovering well. Okay. Yep. Okay. Thanks. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Have you done a parody with the stag on it? No, I have. Okay. I already answered that. Okay. Carl, stop. Okay. 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 Adam doesn't know anything about watches, but she's the actual expert. Okay. So I think our sort of front runner is, I mean, there's another one back here with Emily.
I've been invited to a yacht party at the Monaco Grand Prix.
She's been invited to a yacht party at the Monaco Grand Prix.
Sorted, the outfit's done, but I don't have a bag ready.
She doesn't have a bag.
What we need to figure out first is what.
And I love that Emily approaches it like she's a forensic, criminal investigator approaching it of like, I need to know what, I mean, we still haven't done that joke either that we came up with in the other room the other week. That's like all the ridiculous questions that they ask. I feel like we're waiting for that one. Oh, and can I tell you this one that that really came from Skunko Punko. Jason gave me this idea in our last chat, and then we extended it further. He was like, you should do because I've got all these, what are these called? Nidos, right? Long term, pre-craze. Let me just tell you that. I've been on this Nido train for a while, okay? This, there's some other ones here. I just love them. I love them. The little hand size one. I just really like a, like a kid that would be described as like intelligent but a little bit too talkative and needs to stay focused, which many a report card did. Anyway, that trading one. So I thought we could get into a video when it comes time to pay of like, okay, that will be blah, 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 that we cut to, then Maria does that thing of like, okay. And they're like, okay, well, I'd be willing to give you this for the bag. And then she's like, could you add to that, please? And you know how they press the plus thing or whatever? And it's like, could you add to that, please? And she's like, okay, well, what about this and this? And then she's like, I like that, but I don't know if you know that trend. It's like a school. She's in a school, and the adult like does trades with the kids for Nido things. That's the thing. It's your sweet. You got it. The plus minus thing. Yeah. Okay. So I think we just slipped that into a Love Luxury video once, but there hasn't been one where they've sort of negotiated or haggled. But Mrs. Bench, thank you. A little Lily goes a long way. A little Lily goes a long way. As soon as Lily comes into the chat, it activates my stim, and I got to do that. A little Lily goes a long way. 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 Car goes a short way. 180 centimeters. Got to make it to the top. Not 6 foot, but I got to do a lot. Make it on another Nido. Trade it up. All the way we go. Have you got any Play-Doh? No, I got Nido. I got Nido. A little Lily goes a long way. What is that? It's not quite rapping because it's not good and it doesn't rhyme and it doesn't make sense. It's more like someone who has channeled their vocal stims into a trickable format to let you think it's something. It's not. Okay. It's like a nursery rhyme. What is that? What am I doing? It's sort of like you're sort of doing a nursery rhyme, like a child might just babble nonsense. That's what you're doing. It's just what you're doing. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying when you're in the chat, that was a lyric that was honestly the thing. It's like every time that I see it, it comes up. Anyway, okay, all right, okay. What the F are Nidos? They're just like squishy. It's a brand, but they're like squishy toys, like that are really satisfying. So like slime or something gets a bit messy. These are all like really contained, and it's because it's cold here at the moment. They're like got a really good squidge texture about them. But there's like different ones that have different levels. This one I really like. It's like a little bit hairy. And there's also like other squidgy ones. I recommend the ones that are like in your hand, like you can hold it. It's just like so good. Okay. Jessica Lindsay's found alive. Jessica Lindsay is alive. Jessica Lindsay. Sorry, it does not work as well as a little Lily goes a long way, Jessica, but thank you for being here. Okay. We've learned about Substack. We've got an idea maybe for a video. We've got a long list of things to return to, including the Love Luxury live performance swap fest, where people come in and sorry, Jessica Lindsay, that was really out of line of me to assume that you're alive. Never assume that, guys. It can be really triggering for people who are dead to assume that they're alive. So just always check with people before you refer to them as being alive, what their preferred corporeal status is. Because if they are passed on, trigger warning alive, if they are passed on, what can happen is that can be really, really activating and overstimulating for them if they are. Do you know what I mean? And even doing that, I shouldn't, because that's actually really offensive to people who've been beheaded. And I just want to apologize to anyone who's been beheaded in the chat. I didn't mean that. And I'm speaking from an experience of not being someone who's beheaded. I'm actually headed. So I just want to say, okay, maybe that's another sketch. Mary Antoinette being cancelled in 2026 for not using head inclusive language. Okay. Was consumerism this bad 15 years ago with children's toys? I don't think so, but I think we also hear more about it today. But I also just think like there's just such mountains of crap. And I think like places like in Australia, Kmart and other cheap places are to blame. I think also like content creators and influencers are to blame as well. Like every time I see a video that's like, I just got the latest blah, blah from Kmart, I'm always like, you're a problem. And some people might say, let the poor people have their things. And Kyle, you also do it too. And I would say, yeah, it's true. Okay. All right. Shut up. Okay. Thank you so much. I mean, LL sold effing Labubis last year. Our Kmart is a bit different from your Kmart if you're in the US. Our Kmart's more like a Target and expanding all the time too. They're now going to do furniture stores. Okay. I also think that all of the blind boxing thing, right? So you're going to hear me do this rant and then you may see my video where I'm going to do an unboxing of a crybaby. I'm so sorry. But it's part of my DIY diploma in content creation. I still think we should do that thing where we put a bowl of all the different styles and I have to pull one out each day and do a video of it. Okay, let's do that today too. But thank you, Hedda. It's from the Blue Mountains Upcycled. But I do think that there's a weird relationship to gambling and introducing kids to gambling through the likes of blind boxes, mystery that, unbox this, and this weird, the scoop things, like scooping the scoops of like, you get these things and you get these things that correspond to the thing, but it's all based on chance and inventing an in-between currency between what your money does and what your money gets back. And I don't know, I guess kids have like always played with chance and chance is a part of games, but there is something really weird that we just are like so good at rolling that out to kids as a marketing strategy these days, and that we hook kids in at a really early age into gambling. And I just think that you have a high aversion to gambling. So none of that has ever interested me. And I hate that they trend. I feel really lucky in amongst like my really cooked religious upbringing, like gambling along with like no alcohol, no other things. It's just like, okay, fine. I guess that's kind of good. But it just made me want to like do all of that so much harder because I was restricted. But gambling was one thing that I just have no relationship with. No one in my family did it, was never around any like casinos or anything growing up. And I'm kind of grateful for that, just because I just have no emotional connection to it. It's, even when I was like over 18, which is when you can gamble in Australia, people will be like, oh, should we go to the casino or something? And I just was like, oh, I don't know how to play any of the games. And I just there's no excitement around it whatsoever. No emotion around it. And I do think it is a weird thing, especially in Australia. We have such a sports gambling culture and sports bet ads come up all the time. And they're now targeting more and more kind of like young boys and kind of like have fun. And this is quirky. And they're always like, they pay big money for like sketches, like comedy sketches being written for gambling companies. But it's really weird that we just allow it to happen, and we allow it to happen in such a suitable, appropriate, this is okay, this is totally fine to have someone, this is totally fine to have fun in this way, even though statistically we know it's such a high risk activity, and just much like smoking, we're like fundamentally bad to animals, bad to the people spending money, bad for alcohol related kind of violence connected to it, all those things. And yet we're like, enough tax money comes back to the government, so shush up about it. Do you know what I mean? And they're so sneaky too. All the kind of like gambling lobbies and things like that. Really, really sneaky. Anyway, okay. Roald Dahl predicted it. Willy Wonka. Don't go there today. Roald Dahl being a harbinger of the future. Let's go there. Just kidding. I didn't know that, but okay. In one of those paragraphs where he's talking to Charlie or something, I'm guessing, where he's like, and everyone in the future will something. The spoilt girl with, the ticket factory. Yes, okay. Oh, sorry, the whole thing. Sorry, I'm a bit slow. The closest gambling I get is dopamine hits on social media posts like this. Oh, well, okay. And now this is the other thing, right? We're all complicit really by being on here right now, because this whole little screen is just built in the same little dopamine factory as, the faster I press, the more like little dopamine receptors I can get lit up in my brain. And have you seen those videos in the kind of, I've only seen it on cruise ships and American casinos, where there's just people sitting there being like just mashing the keys on the thing. Okay. Hey, have a great night wherever you are. We're gonna finish now. We're gonna close in prayer. But I was going to say prayer. I don't know if that's an inappropriate, offensive, blasphemous term to use, but I'm just Ken Dodd voice saying, bye, Kyle, goodbye, Kyle. But this is a prayer. This is an anthemic prayer. This is a prayer, a non-religious prayer, a non-denominational prayer. It's a prayer of gratitude, and a prayer. You could just use the word mantra. You could just use the word, quote. You could use the word, some words, a meditation, if you will. But I just want to leave you with these words today. I am grateful for you. I'm grateful for you watching and listening. I feel like we have a parasocial relationship, which is totally rocking, and I love it. And, I don't want to say like we're friends. We've never chatted. You don't know how I smell. I could smell really bad. I can get it a little bit stinky, but it's just because I don't use an aerosol, like a aluminum-based kind of thing, and I just use Perfect Potion. But I use one called Green Goddess, and I use it religiously. So I think I do really good, and I floss every night, so my breath isn't bad. I'm not one of those people where you're like, oh, he's got bad breath, but no one wants to tell him. I am grateful for a life where I get to make creative things for free and without persecution. I really, really appreciate being able to have money in my bank account and a warm bed to sleep in. I am so impressed by my own weird ability to lock down into things with all intensity. Some people might say hyperfixation caused by undiagnosed ADHD. You can call it whatever you will. But the fact that I'm exercising and eating well at the moment and feeling good, I really appreciate it. It's just a spritz. It's from a brand called Perfect Potion in Australia. No, is that what they're called? Yeah, Perfect Potion. It's such a great, vibrant, fun group of people to have in this chat. So thanks so much. All your comments, even if you're a silent observer, I really appreciate it. All the interjections, so great. But I just want to leave with these words. Go forth in your day. And let me ask you this question. Do you still remember how we used to be, like, just kind of feeling together and believing whatever, really? My love has said to me that I guess both of us were dreamers, and young love in the sun, and you felt like my savior, my spirit I gave you. But really, we'd only just begun. Hasta mañana. Always be mine. Viva forever. I'll be waiting. Everlasting. Like the song. Live forever. For a moment. This is just words on my heart that I just need to say for the moment. Ever searching for the one. Kit Kat Spider-Man again for the Viva forever part. Don't say it like it's a predictable thing that always happens. Viva forever, babies. Okay, great to talk to you. Goodbye. Have a great day or night or wherever you are, whatever time of day it is or whatever is a fun thing. Remember to breathe. Goodbye.